I'd like to bring on our next speaker, who is, there he is, from MedPlus. I'd like to introduce Mike Benol.
Hi, I'm Mike Benol. It's so nice to be here. Like Jim, I have ties to the Pennsylvania area as well. I was born and raised in the Lehigh Valley. My family is still there. My mom and dad still live in the Poconos. And it's really great to have this opportunity. It was really important for Kelly when I met him first time about a month ago for me to come in and talk about what can we do for the state. And so you're going to see some slides on how big we are as a company, but more importantly, what we've done. And you know, when I look at where we are, where we've been, and where we are and where we want to go, when was the last time that any of you have heard a U.S. sitting president talk about an EMR? Well, a couple Mondays, he actually talked about 3 carbon copies and reducing the paper footprint. And that was the first time. I've been in this business 20 years. I've been evangelizing the computerized base record for all of my adult life. And it was the first time I've ever heard anybody take that stance from the campaign to the presidency. And here we are today, and we've heard Janet Marchibroda, we've heard Cam, we've heard Alex. All of you are here for a common purpose, and that's because we care. We're all patients. We all go to the doctor. We all have families. We all get sick, and then unfortunately we all have people who die. That process will never change, and we will all be here. And so for me, about 10 months ago, my dad had rung me up, knowing that I'm in the business. And he says, "Son, I'm tired of it." And I said, "What's that, Dad?" Now, my dad's a 4th-generation farmer, still wears boots and lives in the Poconos, and he still has cows and chickens and everything else. And he never goes to the doctor, right? So he's this kind of guy that can literally hit his hand with a hammer and never go to the doctor. But now he has type 2 diabetes, and he has to go to the doctor. So all of you physicians in the room, you know what that's like. It's multiple visits. But he lives in the Poconos. So unlike some of the things I'm going to show you very quickly, I'm going to stick to the 5 minutes. Unlike some of the other metropolitan places and densely populated areas in our country, what do we do with the state of Pennsylvania that has a community from Mennonites to Amish to the inner cities of Philadelphia? Well, we need to collaborate, and that's why we're all here. So the thing I want you to take away from our company, which is MedPlus, a Quest Diagnostics company, is not only do we touch 200 million people annually, that's patients, but we also demonstrated what we've done with the HIE market. And so that's what I hope to convey to you and get that across. I'm not a big slide person and lots of statistics, but Quest Diagnostics is an $8 billion company. And frankly, in this economic downturn that we have, is the only company that consistently produces a profit quarter after quarter, which is one of the main reasons they bought MedPlus 7 years ago. If you just look at these 2 bullets, it's enormous. 150,000 physicians, 1 million lab transactions, 200 million patients annually. That's a lot of stuff, folks. But what's it mean to the state of Pennsylvania? Well, the most important thing is we received 3 of the 9 original NHIN grants. That's a big deal. There were only 9 given. We got a 3rd. And so each one of these stand up on their own, they're referenceable, and they do quite well. That's just an example of what we've done from the HIE market. Our experience is enormous. When you look to build an HIE, and I only wish Alex was here, and we certainly plan to be able to have the opportunity to talk with her. But when you look to build this, you know, if you think about 20 years ago where we were, right? Where we are, where we were, where we are, and where we want to be. 20 years ago, we had community-based acute care hospitals on every corner and every block. Now we have IDNs and HIEs and RIOs and conglomerates. And not one time did the CIO, who didn't exist 20 years ago, think about how we're going to put all of this data together, aggregate it, to have one point of inception. How do I view it? How do I get information in and out? So this slide really are the early adopters of the business. But they're folks that have dedicated a lot of money, resources, energy, marketing. Once you stand one of these up, then you have to go out to the community and try to market and sell it. And that's where Kelly comes in, and that's certainly where the state's going to have to come in. That's the footprint of Quest Diagnostics. That's a big dot map, but it shows you how big and vast we are. The reason I show you this is because we have the wherewithal to help you from the state perspective. What's it mean to the state of Pennsylvania? 2,800 organizations use the products, and 5,500 physicians are connected to our lab data. The benefit to that is that when we stand up an HIE, and this is my last slide, This is actually an HIE that exists in the state of New York. The state of New York has, I think, 4 or 5 different RIOs in the state, and they're expanding. It's one of the biggest e-health collaborators that we have in the country. This is just a great example of 9 of the largest and most influential hospitals that exist in Center City have all got together, put aside their bravado, and said, let's get together and try to connect the state. What was really interesting, and I'll finish with this point, is I was at the Gartner Summit in November, and there was these 2 gentlemen tooling around the floor, kind of looking for information. And the Gartner Summit, obviously Gartner, and they rank a lot of us in what we do and how successful we need to be, said to me, we're from the state of New York. We just received $5 million in the HEAL 5 grant. We don't know what to do with it. But we need to connect 52 post-acute care nursing home facilities to that. And we said, great, we can help you with that problem. Because just like Cam's slides, and she did such a great job with it, she had a piece of it on the round slide that said nursing homes. And we all forget about that part of it. It's not about the entry into the hospital. It's not about the discharge, because that frees the bed and helps with the financial stability of the hospital. But what do you do with the aging population that's going to be placed in nursing homes? We still have to aggregate their data. And so that's what we're doing with the state of New York. We hope to be able to win that bid and opportunity, but this is only the first step. And that concludes my 5 minutes today, but I will be here. I do want to be an active participant in the state. And Kelly, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it.